Well, you notice a bare workbench out here? Well, it's very cold. This is Saturday. It's very cold out here and very windy. Not a nice day at all. Nice looking day. But I ain't working out here today, but I'm going to show you a little bit of what I've done already. All my electrical things are in the shed. And it's cold in here. Now, last night I brought a big sheet of cardboard and put it on the kitchen table, brought the cabling in and the connectors, and was soldering up all these wires here into the connectors. I made an after the event video. I did not make a video wiring this stuff up. So the kitchen table was a mess last night. I will show you that in a little while on this video. But first we're going to go get Uncle Dorkel. I'll show you what I did in the back of him the other day when it was warm outside. It's so windy, all these rotten branches are coming down here. Okay. I added a terminal strip here, which is the positive, and here's the negative. We got the tap-offs. These are going to be the main feeds to the different parts. And up here, I don't know how well you'll be able to see that. If I can move my hand so I can look in the viewfinder, because I can't see, as you know. There's the control board right up here, the motor control board. This terminal strip has everything going to it. I mounted all this stuff on and then mounted it in with one screw up there to hold everything in. And then one of those connectors is going to connect in this area or maybe up here. And then, of course, the remote would plug into that. I may have the plug and jack assembly up here. If there's room, I may have it here or over here. I'm not sure yet. I pre-wired last night the fuse assembly for the head motor and for the mouth trigger. So these are wired with white wires because that's going to be the positive side. Since I don't have red, so we're using the white, but it's not a big deal anyway, so I'll take a magic marker and just mark that with red marker or something to signify that that's the positive, because it's going to be the positive side of the motor for these things, and the solenoid and so forth. This part goes into Dorkel. This is the female part of it, and as you can see, the wires are quite long. This part will be mounted in Dorkel body, and I'll trim this back as I need it, because like I said before, all wires will not be used, but I wanted all connections, all 12 connections, to be available in case I need them. So these will be cut down, and terminal lugs and spade lugs or whatever will be put on the end of this and connected to the proper circuits. And of course the other end of this cord right here will be going into the remote control. You might be able to see it a little bit better. I tilted this forward here so you can see. There's ample connectors left over on a terminal strip for whatever I need to do, because I got to go and tap into this for the fuses, because this is the output of the motor controller. I think that's the output. Yeah, this is the input. This is the 12 volts here. I marked it in red to make very sure. So this is the input, the negative and the positive right here. And this is fused over here with a 15 amp fuse right here. In addition to that, there's a 15 amp fuse on the board right here of the motor controller itself. This is the output of the motor controller, which will feed to the motor. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift one of these. I'm going to put the fuse in series. And then the fuse assembly I showed you that's pre-wired will go down here. So those wires are long enough to be spread through. And to keep everything from touching this when it spins around, I just use masking tape and just tape it up against the wall here. So, and then whatever other wires need to run down lower, they'll just lower and just be down here and run down to here and over to here. So it's too cold out here today. I ain't working out in this cold. It's too brutal. I might, if the weather doesn't improve enough, though, I may not get this done this year. All right. It's way too cold today, as I said. Last night I brought in my electrical toolbox, the 2 Cinch Jones plugs, the plug and jack, the wire, my solder, and this useless magnifier here. I say useless, and the magnifier works. It's awkward trying to get things lined up on it, but the biggest complaint is the base is so small, it just falls over. You know, it just falls over. This glass is usually hanging down on top of the work. I can't get it adjusted right. These are not easy to use and very uncooperative. So I end up not using it, using my Harbor Freight, using this. But I got a light that goes on my head, so I could only use one or the other. Because when I put this on, the light is up here on my hair, like this, does nothing. It's not down on the work. So I had to either use this or a light. I couldn't use both. So it's very frustrating, and my soldering connections are lousy. They're on there strong, but they're lousy. A lot of them are dull. They look like cold solder joints, although they're not moving. But I think they'll be all right. I'm pretty unhappy with my quality of work because of my rotten eyesight. I really get very frustrated. And I'm going to show you the mess, and I'm only going to show you a little bit of it because it's pretty repetitious of what I'm saying now. And I did not make a video of me soldering last night on the kitchen table. All you're going to see is what I've already done. You'll see after the fact. Because I was so aggravated, you would not want to hear the soundtrack of that video. Believe me. It took me a long time, well over an hour, about 2 hours actually. Actually, it was 2 hours to solder what would have taken me probably a half an hour if I was able to see what I'm doing. The pins, I could not, it's like threading a needle. I could not see the hole in the pin without getting a magnifying glass, looking at it, and then taking the wire and feeding it through. I had reading glasses on, but that didn't do enough. And feeding it in, trying to hold it there, and then solder it in. And it was very, very difficult. I tinned all the wires. I stripped them and tinned them. So that made it easy. Then you slide them in. It's not easy, folks. Not easy at all. Well, anyways, enough flapping. I'll show you those clips I made last night in the house, and that will conclude this video. So here's what I did. This is the female end that goes into Dorkel. So all the wires are loose here. There's more conductors than I need, as I said. And they're wired with blacks on one side and whites on the other. The blacks are going to be the negative, and the whites are going to be the positive. But some of the blacks will be used for switching. So I just got to mark out what's going to be what. So that's not a problem. I'll put these connectors together and I'll just ohm them out, that's all. We know that we can ohm out each black wire on one end and the other, and we can find out what's what. The main thing is I needed to get this stuff wired, and if I had a nice sunny mild day, the sunshine would be so good that I would not need these lights. And you try to run this thing on your forehead and this, it don't work. This thing's up in the air like this on my head because this is made to go on the forehead, but so is this. So, and the lights in here are useless, so I don't even put batteries in. So, and I need a lot of light to see small things, and then I need a lot of magnification on top of that. So, it's a wonder I got it. I came pretty close to giving up on this. I brought everything in the house, and I've been working on this for about 2 hours, a little better than 2 hours, where somebody else with good eyesight could probably have done it in a half hour. I couldn't work outside. It's very, very windy, and it's cold. And I am disgusted with my quality of work, only because of my eyesight. This is good solder, but almost every one of these connections is dull. So they're not loose, but there are probably a lot of cold solder joints here. And the way I did it, and I'm using 12 conductors, 6 whites on one side and 6 blacks on the other. And if I had to use the middle row of contacts, I would never be able to do it because I was bridging out, trying to hold a magnifying glass. I had these. This helped. I had this. This was useless because it kept falling over. It's pretty useless. I got the solder. I soldered the fuse connector. And although they're on there, every damn one of the connections, just about every one anyways, is dull. A solder connection is supposed to be shiny. So, but 3/4 of them are dull. There's nothing I can do about it. I used to do good jobs of soldering years ago. I just can't do it because of my rotten eyesight. I get so damn aggravated. You have no idea how aggravated I was. And then I didn't want to use the kitchen table. My son and my wife are out. And I got to finish up here and I'm all done. I got to just put things away because they'll be coming home very shortly here. And I got to get this stuff out of here. All right, folks. That's all I'm going to show you today. When it warms up, I'll do more work and then I'll show you some more. And if all goes well and the weather warms up somewhat more and makes it comfortable enough for me to be out there, we could probably be doing the remote control itself. Once I get the insides all done here, then I work on the remote control. But that's going to be a while away. A while away. That don't sound right. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good day.